Hey everybody, welcome to Bloom and Wander. So I was thinking, by the time we reach middle age, we have accumulated so much debt, most of us anyway. And that includes like our student loans, our mortgages, our medical bills, our credit cards, you name it. We've got debt. And when you're planning on your retirement and going into retirement, you really can't be carrying that debt with you. I mean, you're not going to have the money to be paying off debt and living your life. So the best thing would be to get rid of your debt prior to retirement as soon as possible. So let's talk about today why eliminating debt is the most powerful thing you can do for your future self and why you need to do it before you retire. So my story is I never really learned how to budget money. I never learned the responsible way to handle money. So I've gone through a bankruptcy before. I've gotten overwhelmed by bills. I'm, robbing Peter to pay Paul a lot of the time. But I can't keep living that way going into retirement. As it stands now, I have a mortgage with about $35,000 left on it. I've got, credit card debt, maybe around $6,000. I own my car outright, thank God, but I don't have emergency savings, so heaven forbid, my car go out on me, I, blow a tire, something, I'm gonna have to put it on a credit card, which is not a good way to be going through life because that's just adding more debt to my already high debt. Oh, and I forgot to mention student loans. Yeah, I have a lot left on my student loans. I think last time I looked, about 145,000. Yeah, so safe to say that I'm going to be paying on those for quite a while. So I'm not gonna make this video and make it about like a guilt trip on all of us. We've all made mistakes in the past. The point is that we learn and try and do something different going forward. Yeah, I've not paid off all my debts. I'm still on the journey. I've made a lot of mistakes. Life happens, expenses happen, career changes happen, medical emergencies happen. So now we got to do some financial planning. I don't want to sit here and lecture everybody like I know all the answers because I don't. I'm still learning stuff. I want us just to be able to have a conversation, honest conversation about debt and money and, how we can be smarter in the future together. So debt's not a moral failure. We can make different choices because debt does limit our choices and limit our opportunities to do things. And we want to have as much freedom as possible. So credit cards are probably the biggest type of debt that most people have. And the interest rates are just they're crazy. Higher interest rates make balances feel like they're going to be impossible to escape. Auto loans are another big one. I think a lot of people spend way too much time trying to find, the next car to, look good to their neighbors and stuff instead of just driving the same thing for 10 years and then buying another one, paying cash outright. I can say that having a car that's completely paid off for me is a relief because God forbid, I can always live in my car, right? That's a joke. Student loans, yeah, don't get me started. I have 2 master's degrees and, none of the majors that I chose or anything that were particularly, high paying or that was meaningful. And I'm not sorry that I got the education I did initially, but I think that there was probably another avenue I could have taken that wouldn't have resulted in so much debt. So I am sorry about some of the choices I made there. Medical debts, again, that's not something that I chose, and most people don't. When you have a medical emergency, that completely changes your life, and insurance companies can be kind of stubborn about paying for the things that they promise they're going to pay for. Having an emergency savings account matters so much. So when you have that high deductible, $7,500 or whatever you have to pay in order to get the treatment you need, having it there makes a big difference. Mortgages, yeah, you do have some tax advantage to owning your home. I heard the other day somebody said that Generation Z or whatever we're on now, they're choosing just to keep renting because owning a home is so out of the realm of possibility for them. Everything's so expensive now that they're not even trying, which is kind of sad, because that used to be kind of the foundation for wealth building and investing in your family's future was owning a home, and now they're not even bothering to do it. It's sad. It's not their fault, but again, we got to all make different choices. So what are some debt payoff strategies? Well, through research, I've learned that, so the Debt Snowball is one that's pretty famous. Dave Ramsey talks about it a lot, and I like Dave Ramsey. I don't agree with him on everything 100%, but on some things he's spot on. And the Debt Snowball is so basically you list your debts according to the smallest balance to the highest balance. And the goal here is to pay off the thing with the smallest balance first. And then, gradually, one by one, they all get paid off. Allegedly, he claims that, having that first balance paid off quickly gives you the momentum to keep going. So small wins are something that's supposed to motivate you to keep going. People love it because it does, get things done efficiently. Seeing those accounts disappear, and, that can be motivating. Another one is the debt avalanche. So instead of focusing on the account with the smallest balance, you've focused on the highest interest rate debt first. I don't know about you, but I have some smaller credit cards that are 33% interest. Store credit cards are really bad about that. So those would be the ones that you would want to focus on first. So you make minimum payments on everything except that first card you're paying off. You throw everything at that, your spare change, your bonuses, your lottery wins, the change you find in your couch cushion, whatever, to get that paid off first. And then once that's paid off, you move on to the next one, and so on until everything's paid off. The trade-off there, though, is that sometimes it does take longer to pay off those cards, because with the interest, you gotta pay more money. The other strategy is to increase your income. Again, easier said than done. You can take a part-time job delivering pizzas, or work extra hours at the job you have, maybe. But not always feasible for everyone. A lot of times it's just easier to decrease your spending than it is to increase your income. And that's the things, using the things that you can control, trying to control those. So, maybe canceling your Netflix account, not going out to eat. I don't know. Just little ways to just take that money that you would have spent on that thing and throwing it towards your debt instead. And it's not forever. It's just 6 months, 12 months, whatever, until you get it paid off. So for me and my personal debt strategy, that's why I'm building the multiple income streams. So my primary job pays my bills, my living expenses, and my other little eggs I'm throwing towards my debt. Another debt strategy is velocity banking. I don't know if many of you have heard of that. It's discussed a lot online. So it's, in some versions, it's using your cash flow creatively, or like using a home equity line of credit to pay your expenses and pay off your debt faster. Obviously, if you don't own a home or have a home equity line of credit, then I have seen a version though you can use your credit cards that way. So like for instance, say your monthly expenses total, like let's say $5,000 a month. If you've got a credit card that has $7,500 in credit on it, so you would put all of your monthly expenses on your credit card every month, and then when your paycheck comes in, you throw all of it into the credit card to pay off your credit card. So it keeps rolling and revolving. It's a revolving line of credit. Not only does that pay things off a little easier for you and keep your cash flow, your money on hand available, but it does build your credit really, really fast. I have used, not in its entirety, I've used it on a few of my bills to, you know, the ones that are there every month, and it does build your credit. Other strategies to consider: debt consolidation. Sometimes those loan fees get a little high, but I mean, it's there. It's a possibility for some people. Balance transfers with your credit card, if you have that available. Refinancing, that can be good. Negotiating medical bills, that is a good one. Most hospitals and medical centers nowadays will work with you. That's a positive that we've seen in the last decade or so. Nonprofit credit counseling. I'm sorry, I'm just reading my notes off my laptop. So every financial situation is different, though. I mean, if it doesn't work for me, that doesn't mean it's not going to work for you, and vice versa. The whole point is that you make a plan and you stick with it. You know, money stuff is allegedly the biggest cause of divorce in this country. So, you know, if you've got a spouse and you guys sit down together and make out a plan, work your plan, I think it can possibly strengthen marriages. I don't know. Don't ask me, I'm divorced. But anyway, it's all about changing your mindset. One thing I've noticed about paying off debt, it's not just about math, it's creating the options. Like I said earlier, it's about creating freedom for yourself. So every payment that you eliminate frees up that much more money that you can use towards your retirement, towards your investments, your travel, your savings, future businesses, whatever you want. And you can reach your retirement, you know, not having a car payment, not having a house payment, not having all of that debt hanging over your head. You know, a lot of people, they keep their house, but then they rent it out, Airbnb it, or, you know, do house sitter kind of thing, and, you know, trade it off and let somebody else live in their house while they're in Bali or, you know, Thailand or somewhere. It's an option. That's the kind of freedom that I want in life. I'm looking forward to, you know, not only creating freedom and independence for myself, but maybe helping out someone else as well. So here is the good news, folks. We're not forced to become debt-free overnight. We do have time. Most of us, you know, we just have to keep moving in the right direction, one day at a time, $1 at a time, one payment at a time, one decision at a time. Retirement isn't built in a day. It's not built overnight. If you're going to follow the debt snowball, follow it. See where it takes you. If it doesn't work, then you have options. You can try the Avalanche. You can try, you know, the velocity banking. You can try other things. Yeah, try something else entirely, and let me know what works. Tell me down in the comments what Have you tried what's worked for you, what's not worked for you? How many of you tried the envelope method? That's another one that I looked into. I'm not real good about carrying cash, so it never really appealed to me. But I do like to carry cash when grocery shopping because I notice I spend a lot less at the grocery store when I'm carrying cash. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below. Tell me what's worked for you, what you're interested in learning more about. What strategies tickle your fancy? What have you used to pay off your debt? What worries you right now about your debt and paying off debt? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it so much. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you're interested in, and let me know what you think about debt. I will talk to you again soon. Thank you for watching Bloom and Wander. Bye-bye.